2025 just wrapped up, and honestly, it might have been the best year for anime we've seen in a while. Demon Slayer's new movie pulled in almost $800 million worldwide. Streaming services are throwing money at the medium like it's going out of style, and we got nearly 200 TV series to choose from. But here's the thing. Most of those 200 shows were absolute garbage. Seasonal isekai slop, rushed adaptations, the usual stuff that makes you question why you even watch anime anymore. So I did the hard work for you. I watched way too much anime this year, and I'm here to tell you about the 10 shows that actually didn't suck. In fact, they were pretty incredible. Starting off at number 10, we've got City the Animation from Kyoto Animation. And if you don't know who Kyoto Ani is, just know they're basically the Pixar of anime studios. This show is what happens when you give some of the best animators on the planet a slice-of-life comedy and tell them to go absolutely ham on every single joke. The premise is simple. It's about random people living in a town literally called City. There's this college trio named Nagumo, Nikuri, and Izumi, and their everyday problems somehow become everyone's problems. But the magic is in how they animate it. We're talking Looney Tunes levels of slapstick, but with the kind of fluid animation that makes you wonder how many animators collapsed making this thing. And yeah, it's hilarious, but it's also weirdly heartwarming. Like, these characters roast each other mercilessly, but there's this underlying theme about community and connection that sneaks up on you. It's basically a spiritual successor to their older show Nichijou, and somehow it lives up to that legacy. At number 9, we have My Dress Up Darling Season 2. Now, the first season was good, but had one major problem. It was horny to the point of being uncomfortable. The main girl, Marin, got sexualized constantly, and it felt a bit much. Season 2 fixes that. Cloverworks came back with better writing and way more expressive character animation, and the romance between Marin and Gojo actually feels earned now. Here's why it works. Gojo's this shy guy who sews cosplay outfits, and he's always felt like an outcast because people told him that sewing was girly. Then Marin shows up, this popular, bubbly Giaru who's obsessed with cute anime girls, and she just doesn't care about those gender expectations. She thinks what he does is cool, and watching him slowly realize that not everyone judges him for his hobbies, that's the good stuff right there. It could have easily been generic wish fulfillment garbage, but instead it became one of the most wholesome romances of the year. Number 8 is My Hero Academia's final season, and look, I know what you're thinking. The middle seasons of this show were painfully mediocre. Characters standing around talking instead of fighting, pacing issues, the works. But season 8? Studio Bones said, "We're going out with a bang," and they delivered. The animation in this final season is absolutely insane. There's this one cut in episode 163 by animator Yuki Sato. That's the kind of thing people will be talking about for years. The story wraps up with Deku facing a world-ending threat, but it never loses sight of the personal stakes. Questions about redemption, forgiveness, and whether some people can be saved. Heavy stuff, but it earned those moments. And those final fights? Chef's kiss. This is what action anime should be, not the empty TikTok bait we've been getting from shows like Solo Leveling. Number 7 is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. And this is one of those romance shows that sounds generic on paper but executes everything perfectly. Rintaro is a teenage guy who looks scary, so everyone assumes he's a delinquent. Karuko goes to an all-girls academy and sees past that surface-level stuff. Their schools have this heated rivalry, so when they start secretly dating, things get complicated. What makes it special is the direction by Miyuki Kuroki. She knows exactly when to hold back and when to hit you with emotional gut punches. There's this scene where Rintaro's mom finally sees him make friends who appreciate his kindness, and it's devastating in the best way. Or this flashback that completely reframes how the two main characters first met. Brilliant storytelling. It could have been sappy and overdone, but instead it walks this perfect line between sweet and sincere. At number 6, we've got There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover, Unless, or Watanare for short, because that Japanese title is a mouthful. This is a girls' love rom-com that starts out looking like standard romance nonsense, but becomes something way more interesting. Rinako is a former loner who somehow gets into a popular girl clique. Great, right? Except one of them, Mai, this rich, famous model, immediately declares she's in love with her. Rinako panics because she's deep in the closet and doesn't want to mess up her new friendships. But then things spiral and she starts wondering if she has feelings for multiple girls in the group. What's great is that each character has actual depth. The seemingly bitter Satsuki, the Angelica Jisai, they all have real personalities and motivations. It's funny, it's surprisingly smart, and it's extremely gay. Sometimes that's all you need. Number 5 is Takopi's Original Sin. And I need to give you a serious content warning here. This show depicts graphic bullying, child abuse, depression, and suicide. It's genuinely disturbing, and if any of that is triggering for you, skip this one. Still here? Okay. So the premise sounds bizarre. A cute pink alien named Takopi crash lands on Earth and meets a 9-year-old girl named Shizuka. Takopi is from Happy Planet and wants to make her happy using alien gadgets. Sounds wholesome, right? Wrong. Shizuka's life is a nightmare. She's being brutally bullied, abused at home, and her parents are absent. And Takopi's attempts to help keep making things worse. This could have been edgelord torture material, but it's not. The show shifts between childlike fantasy and stomach-churning realism to make you genuinely empathize with abuse victims instead of just throwing toxic positivity at the problem. It's a hard watch, but it's important. It shines a light on stuff most people would rather ignore. Number 4 is Medalist, a figure skating anime that had no business being this good. Studio NGI isn't exactly known for quality work, but they completely turned their reputation around with this one. The story follows Inari, an 11-year-old girl who starts figure skating late, and apparently in this sport, if you don't start in early elementary school, you're already behind. She teams up with Tsukasa, a first-time coach, and we watch this underdog journey unfold. What makes it work is the execution. The skating scenes use motion capture and sharp direction to make you feel the tension and skill of every performance. But it's not just about pretty animation. The show really gets into the human side of sports. The endless practice sessions, the burning drive to succeed, the tactical decisions in competition, and that rush when everything clicks. It stands alongside the best sports anime out there, and considering how stacked that genre is, that's saying something. Number 3 is Orb, On the Movements of the Earth, a historical drama about heliocentrism. Yeah, you heard that right, a show about whether the Earth revolves around the sun. Set in a fictionalized 16th century, this follows a group of scholars risking their lives to prove that Earth isn't the center of the universe. The Church in this version sees Earth as the lowest point in the cosmos to justify social inequality, so proving otherwise becomes both scientific and political rebellion. What makes it incredible is watching these characters pass knowledge from one generation to the next, growing beyond the limitations of their time. It's thrilling, beautifully animated by Madhouse, and genuinely smart about the questions it asks. There's something elemental about watching people pursue truth just for the sake of knowing, even when it could cost them everything. It's one of those shows that makes you think without being preachy about it. Number 2 is The Summer Hikaru Died, and this might be the first genuinely good horror anime in years. Here's the setup. Yoshiki lives in rural Japan, and his best friend Hikaru recently died. Except Hikaru's body came back, and there's something else wearing it. Some unknowable creature that absorbed Hikaru's memories and is pretending to be him. Instead of grabbing a weapon and going full Demon Slayer mode, Yoshiki makes a different choice. He decides to keep living with this thing that looks like his dead best friend, entering this weird state of perpetual grief. The show becomes this queer body horror story about being closeted in a rural community where people casually call queerness a disease. It digs into the village's supernatural history and generational sins, while Yoshiki navigates his confusing feelings for Hikaru. Cygam's Pictures took their parent company's gacha game money and made something genuinely artistic. It's creepy, symbolically dense, and it actually understands what makes horror work in animation. And at number 1, we have the Apothecary Diaries, which somehow keeps getting better, despite already being fantastic in its first season. Mao Mao is an apothecary who gets conscripted into the inner palace of a fictionalized imperial China. She wants to keep her head down, literally, since political missteps can get you executed, but she can't help solving mysteries using her knowledge of medicine and science. Each arc brings a new whodunit, but the show excels at connecting these cases into bigger themes. Mao Mao exposes injustices tied to the deeply patriarchal system she's trapped in, all while being an absolute weirdo who gets way too excited about poisons. The latest season delivered some brutal twists that hit hard because we're so attached to these characters by now. The animation from Toho and OLM is consistently gorgeous. The mysteries are clever. And Mao Mao is just a perfect protagonist. Smart, weird, and completely done with everyone's nonsense. In a year that was pretty rough in general, the Apothecary Diaries gave us something to look forward to every week. So that's the list. 10 anime from 2025 that were actually worth your time. From absurdist comedy to historical drama to queer horror, this year had range. Which of these have you watched? Any I missed that you think deserved a spot? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more anime recommendations without wading through 200 shows yourself, hit that subscribe button. I'll keep doing the work so you don't have to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.